Hello everyone. So before I start my book review in this amazing book, let me just say wow. I've finally finished it. All 426 pages, so yay. Don't get me wrong, I do love to read. I can read 3 to 4 books max in one day, but it was different in this one. Maybe because of the genre, since I'm not much into mystery and medieval kind of themes, and besides there was no romance, so I was deprived of love for the past 2 days. And if you're wondering why I still decided to read this, it's because I was intrigued and attracted to its title. I mean, when I first saw this and you know Promise of Blood, book 1 of the Powder Mage trilogy, and it and if it wasn't eye catching, then I don't know what is. So I was even more hooked when I discovered that there are mage and magic and mystery in it, since I love fantasy books. But yeah, overall I liked the book. I loved it even. It just grew new, And if I were asked to rank it, I would probably give a 4 or 4.5 star rating. I didn't give it a full 5 since I haven't finished all the books. I mean, there are more for me to read and more stories to learn since it's a trilogy, so yay. Another something days of reading Autumn Republic and Crimson Campaign, which are the 2 following books. But anyways, I'm only going to give review to the first book, which is The Promise of Blood by Brian McLellan. It was interesting because I learned that it was a flintlock fantasy. Flintlock means it is a fantasy book with the use of modern technology like guns and things like that. So it is an interesting idea since fantasy has to adapt to new rules and regulations that technology allows, and it has to change according to its time. So it was really intriguing. Uh, Before I start my book review, let me read you a small introduction. The alchemy of gunpowder fused with the magic of sorcery. In a time of upheaval, resurgence, and corrupted royalty privilege, one man's love for his lost wife and his country burns and fuels a new order where all can be treated equally. Sometimes, to build new, you must burn the old. Legends long hidden may rue when old gods return and Field Marshal Thomas coup against a failing, rotten, and self-indulgent royalty balances on a knife edge. Thomas must rely on his friends and alienated son Teniel if his people and the 9 nations are to survive. So, initially I was unsure concerning backdrop for the story, the French Revolution. This premise screams off the page, and the mix of gunpowder, muskets, and magic didn't initially pique my appetite. Thankfully, I was wrong. It's surprising how often that happens. Gratefully, considering the revolution theme, we didn't have to be through pages of blood and beheadings, but the backdrop added well to the undertone for the narrative, and the character stories and motives are portrayed well because of it. The story's layers are evident from the opening page. McLellan builds out a vision of his world step by step, first slowly admittedly but soon picking up pace, and draws you into the lives of Thomas, Teniel, and the 9 nations. You begin to understand better and can appreciate the interactions in the world they inhabit. The overall plot is amazing, weaving together several characters' viewpoints, skills, and faults to create an utterly compelling and fascinating tapestry. Each character comes with their own misconception of the world and strengths that help them drive past their faults and quirks. While the plot is at times helpfully contrived to reach a specific destination, this actually helps the story, creating a heightened tension for the readers as they wait for the unexpected to happen, more often than not at entirely unexpected times. While sensibly contained to one book, the story does allow for the anticipatory desire to keep reading, following the book into further and more interesting locations. The world surrounding our characters and the history and mythology preceding them all combine to create a whole that is utterly compelling. The use of gunpowder, the abilities the powder mage have, and the way that they can conflict with the other magic users makes this story even more captivating. The overall concept of magic in Brian McClelland's Powder Mage World is one that I cannot wait to return to, hopefully again and again. It is also a book that I will greatly recommend to others since I loved it. So if you're a fan of fantasy and you don't mind paced slow paced stories, then I recommend this book. It's pretty good. Thank you.